Marcel, how did you find carnivore?
Oh, Dave. Well, I found carnivore about 5.5 years ago now. Um, I it was for me a journey about health. Actually, I always been interested in health. My profession has to do with health also, and I know quite a little bit about it through the years. But at some point, I was doing my sports. I was boxing at the moment, and I felt very weary or dizzy in a certain moment, and I've just collapsed at the moment in the gym. And I got transported to the hospital. And long story short, there have been MRIs and tests because first they could not find anything. But in the end, it turned out I got a brain tumor. And yeah, so I was in one of the best hospitals in the Netherlands. And they examined me with a good scan, and that's why I know I got at some point a brain tumor. And well, because the moment I collapsed, I got an epileptic insult. It's called, I think, a seizure. I don't know exactly
Yeah,
the English word.
seizure's
Okay,
fine.
seizure. Yeah, yeah, and they were bad. I had a few of them that almost cost me my life twice. My heart almost stopped. I had at that point also a very strong heart, so that was my savior. My whole system was optimal at the moment, and when it comes to health, and that saved me. And I got medication that brought down the times that I got seizures, and it helped. So I didn't feel really sick apart from that part. And I was curious if there was any cure that could be done next to the normal uh, procedures medical doctors do, like chemo or surgery. But in my case, it could not be reached. It was in a very bad spot. So they said, well, we have to monitor you. We cannot help you at the moment because the risk when we get involved, like for taking biopsy, it would be too risky. You could hurt other parts of the brain and cause malfunctions, and we do not want that. So I got to read on the internet, and I was also already into ketogenic eat style. So very low carbs, no bread, sometimes some sweet potato, sometimes oatmeal, but that's the only thing I did at the moment. And then I read studies about the carnivore results, like starving out cancer cells was one of the possibilities. And I got very interested, and I think, well, I got nothing to lose, so why not try it? And that's where my journey actually began.
Wow, so that's about 5.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, did you talk to any of your doctors at the time and mention, "Oh, by the way, I'm gonna try this"?
Not until it, not until I got results. So for those who do not know me, I'm 55. At that time, I was 50 that I got the first seizures, and I work out normally 4 times a week. I watch my food. I watch my stress level. I did everything by the book, but sometimes just happens. Yeah? And I didn't tell anyone because most doctors say, "Well, you cannot do that. You will miss out on nutrition, and it's not good for you." But to just how do you say it? Not get any arguments or go in debating. I just did it, and if I go back in time now, it took me about 2.5 years, I think, about 2.5, 3 years, and then the final results in the hospital of my last scan was positive. So the tumor was gone, and that was a very beautiful moment, of course. But that was also a moment that I was opening up about this lifestyle. Also, because the doctors that had treated me, it was an academic hospital. So they were really good surgeons, the best of the country. And he called me and he said, "Well, we don't know what you did, but we're happy that you did it and that you got this result because we do not ever see this happening by itself." And that was an eye opener because afterwards they called me for an interview and they wanted to know what I did. And I explained them. Yeah. Yeah, it was very hard to believe, but I think if you were a little bit of a scientist, also some doctors are all scientists. They try new stuff and they work around and they try to get results. That's what matters. So these people were very interested in what I did, and they said literally, "Well, we are not experts, but we are finding this very interesting. May we interview you?" And I said, yes. So I got an interview like this, about, I think, 30 minutes, and I explained everything, and they was, yeah, So I was, yeah, I was very content that I could share this with some professionals.
So, during the time, um, it took about 3 years for it to disappear, but during that 3 years, did you have, like, follow-up MRIs where you were checking it? And was it shrinking during that time or anything?
Um, I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I got scanned every half year. That's a procedure. Normally, it takes certain kind of years. They have to follow you up. Um, but I'm not sure if they. I can't remember if they told me it's shrinking. It's just at the last result. If you get the results out, maybe some people out there know also what the procedures are. In Holland, it's like this. They look at your MRI and they never do that alone. It's a team of specialists, a minimum of 5 or 6, I think, in that hospital. They look at it and to be sure that all see the same thing. Yeah. So in the end, it's just that I got that call from you. We got good news. We are not finding any tumors left in your brain. So, yeah.
Right. I I almost feel like they would have been more surprised than you to get that final scan and go, hang on, something's wrong here, it's missing."
Yeah, yeah. I think
Wow.
so. Yeah, yeah. It's still amazing if you look back at it. And now, like I said, it's almost 5.5 years ago. I still look at it back at it as a memorable situation. Of course, you're grateful that you're still here, that you do not have extra problems with your health, and but life goes on also. Because of my job experiences over the last 30 years, I'm very, how do you say it, straightforward thinking. I'm open minded. That's not the problem. It's just like if I have a problem, I solved it. Maybe the solution will be written down, but I'm not sticking at that topic for long. So it's like moving forward, concentrating on the things that matter. And that's what I did. But now we are talking about it. Of course, it brings back memories. And I know when I look at it logical, and I've seen myself back in the situation that medical, how do you say, the professionals were, well, worried about my health when I got 13 to 15 minutes tonic seizures. So you're fully, do you say it, cramped? All your muscles are cramped, and your heart is a muscle, so the blood flow is minimal. And if it takes too long, you're lacking oxygen, you can get problems. I have tattoos, but they say you were already almost dark blue at some point. So, and it was, yeah, that's something that I will keep in my mind.
Right. And so you haven't had any further seizures since then?
No, no, sir.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it is.
And
It is.
you're not on any medication for it or anything?
Nothing. No. The last, what did I have? I normally, I never am sick or have troubles. And but start of this year, everybody was getting sick. Throat hurts and headaches and fever. I got that, and it was really bad. I don't know why. I still to this day I don't know why. It was a combination of factors. but I lost 6 kilograms in no time, and I have low body fat. So my health was really declining fast. And that was the only time that I got antibiotics, and I had problems getting back onto weight. And I didn't want to eat. And you can't eat if you really feel that bad. So my health was really going downhill very fast, but I also recovered very fast. So that was the only moment actually that I had real problems with my health, but nothing related to any kind of tumor or uh, epileptic seizures or anything. Man. No, I had my blood tested when I think 6 7 months ago. I let my blood be tested like the deep test, really good test, and I was lacking nothing. But he said your cholesterol is very high. It's 250% higher. We need to give you statins. I said, no, my friend, I'm not taking statins. I will explain a bit to you and prove the science. I give you some video material if you're open to it. And that doctor, he was a starting doctor, a young doctor. He said, well, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. Can you send it? So yes, of course I can send it because I had to explain him why I'm not taking statins, what my lifestyle is. My triglycerides were very good. Of course, your LDL was high, the total cholesterol was high, but it was amazing to see the doctor like, yeah, yeah, okay, we do not get teach that, we do not study that. Food and health is something different to look into. So I was glad that we had a good moment there.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. So when you've been on this journey, have you incorporated fasting into the journey as well, or are you basically eating 3 meals a day, or
No, what I learned, Dave, over time is listening to my body. Um, Even before the journey that I had to take because my health was bad, I was already fasting. Um, I had some good education when it comes to health. I was trained well, and I was also challenged 10 years ago already. Don't eat for a week as part of our training. And I was, no man, a week, I can never do that. But actually, it went amazing, and I felt very well. I could sport. I wasn't go hungry. After 2 days, my ghrelin levels will go down, and I was like, well, I can take over the world like this. So at some point, of course, you need to eat. But after 5 days, it was a wonderful feeling. And after that, I just made it part as my daily life. So I just look at it like this. I wake up in the morning. I look at my energy level always, and then I decide what I want to do. And when I meant earlier, listening to my body, it's like this. I always teach my clients also. If you get up in the morning, yeah, give yourself a number from 0 till 10. That's symbolizing your energy level. If you're giving yourself a 5 right in the morning, don't go fasting, don't go running, don't go training. Just take care of yourself during the day because you're lacking energy. And now that's basic the way I do it. It gives me a clear moment to think how I want to spend the day, not unraveling why I'm going to do it, just straightforward answer. And that means I can do fasting 2 times a week, maybe 2 times a month. But if I do it, I do usually a full day or half a day because I'm already carnivore. Um, I don't eat mostly after 7 in the evening anymore. So if I just cut the food at 7 until the other day, like 1, 2, maybe 3 o'clock, that's for me, it's enough. And I can sense my body if it needs food or not. And what I found personally very difficult for me is, you you're getting full. Your leptin levels rise on a heavy protein diet like the carnivore. For me, it means if I had a few burgers with bacon and 2 eggs, I could basically last to the next day. But if I do that too long, I'm lacking the nutrition. I'm lacking the energy. So carnivore can be a very good way of life, but you still have to manage your energy and awareness about where you stand in your daily doses.
Right. And when you're eating, are you eating mainly beef? Are you doing organ meats?
Both, both. Yeah, the organ meats are not my favorite. I think there's a lot of people out there who say, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want to eat liver or heart. I got the dry form supplements. When I think I need them, I take them. So I got dried supplements, the organ meat supplements. But mostly I eat like rinsed meat, lean beef, sometimes chicken, sometimes a bit of fish. Um, Eggs, I think about 6 to sometimes 10 eggs a day, depending on my needs. Sometimes I can only eat two. But this morning I had two burgers, 4 eggs, and two slices of bacon, and that was full for me now.
Oh, nice. Um, so have your doctors that interviewed you, have they been back in contact with you at all, or it's just kind of become
No,
nothing?
man, no, no, no. I'm just some guy. I'm just some guy from the Netherlands. Like one of the patients, they are interested, and it's just fine, man. I'll share what I know and what my experiences are with the world. And if it's a doctor or it's my neighbor, it's for me just okay. It's like these moments that we sharing now uh, publicly on YouTube. I hope some people out there can take any of the information that I got. It's not mine, it's out there, but it's my experience that they can use it for their own benefits.
So, I guess you were talking about doing boxing before, and I guess you do weights and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Um, have you noticed any difference in the way your energy is, or muscle building, or anything like that between carnivore and not carnivore?
Yeah, well, there's two matters. I think when it comes to energy expenditure, this doesn't really matter. I mean, I also read daily the differences in carb and fat carnivore styles when it comes to energy and, for example, getting results. There are a lot of influencers out there who test that, right? They find it interesting. They say, okay, let's test this group. We give them carbs all the same. We give them carnivore all the same. What are the results? I don't think it's there that you get the real benefits. It's more the clarity in your brain. I think my clarity has been much, much better. Um, Even if I have a lower sleep quality, I mean, I sleep okay, but sometimes you have those days or nights that you do not get enough rest. And for me personally, I can say from experiences that I'll just recover quickly. My clarity is still there. And what I also did is I added more creatine. Yeah, so I use creatine. If it comes to really the results, I'm still strong, but I'm 55 now, Dave. I can compete still with a lot of people who are much younger, but it's not my goal. I want to stay healthy and I want to stay fit and I want to stay injured free. I don't want to get injured anymore. So I do my lifting. I go to max or I go, I don't know, whatever I feel like in that moment. And the difference is now when I'm carnivore, my fat goes all the way down every time. So I could easily get more fat reserves on carbs than on the carnivore diet. So even I reached a body fat percentage at some point 6%, and I'm never doing that again. Yeah, I was feeling horrible, and it was before I did carnivore because I wanted to see what it would take me when it comes to energy. And so I ate the right things. I thought, the carbs, low carb, but still carbs, the vegetables, the eggs, the meat, and still I had trouble getting last fat reserves gone that I would think it should be gone. Yeah. So everybody is critic about his own body. But on the carnivore diet, I don't have to think about it. It just goes away because you're optimally tuned into burning fat. So that's really good.
It's a cool thing. It's kinda like your body's managing it for you, You just go and do the
Yeah,
thing, and your body takes care of what's happening.
exactly. And if you read the studies, everyone out there, and there's a lot of people who are really into it, but I tend to go for the scientists. I mean, there's good influences out there, don't get me wrong, but I like people like cell biologists, like Ben Bigman out there. He's very good. And the good results that come from people who are on the channels like yourself, but also like Sean Baker or Ken Berry. They have some good videos out there that show results for people even with chronic illness. And for me, luckily, I'm not ill. But if you are one of the groups that are really chronic ill and you cannot get better with the medicine, I would say give it a shot. Try it for 30, try it for 60 days. It may be helping you. So for me, it's just not a matter of reaching goals and getting muscle mass or anything else. I want to just feel the best version with something that I can grab and hold on for a longer time of period. If you do something from pressure, like it's needed to be because you are sick, and then you are motivated from that perspective. Yeah, if you just want to say, well, I want to just lose a few kilograms, carnivore just not might be the thing for you. There are a lot of other things out there you can do. And it has to be something that you feel well by. You need to have the motivation to keep it integrated in your life, and that's something I like. I like burgers. I like meat, in general, and I like eggs and I like bacon. For me, it's never a problem if I ate in the morning, afternoon, evening, a meal like that I just described. I never get how do you say it, fed up with it. I always get, oh,
Right.
like good food.
That that's the thing, you never get bored, right? It's just like it's always the best thing you could eat, you know?
I think that's correct. The best thing you can eat. For me, Dave, and I heard it out before there in the social media channels. It's like I meant to eat this. It feels to me it's like a coat that I do not want to get rid of. It fits me just fine, even if it's weary. I wanna wear it, and it's just like this. So if you look at that perspective, I learned that I get in touch with what I eat. I think that's for me the best the description of how I feel about carnivore. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. So what are the reactions in and around you from friends? Like what are they befuddled by this? Are they do they think it's a bit strange?
Yes, all of those above. But that's just fine. I can understand that if people have questions, because I'm contradicting so much, they learned and they heard, and government issues about what you should eat and what you should not eat, what is good for you, should you do if you want to lose weight, because most of the people are interested only in losing weight. They're not talking about health issues. No, I want to do that. Yeah, why? I want to lose weight. No, it's more than that. It's not just weight, it's taking care of yourself. And that's hard. So I'm not discussing anything, debating with them. I just ask why. Why do you question this? Can we talk about it? What questions do you have? You know, for me, I'm as my job is full time professional health. I work with people with all kind of issues. From mental until physical, and they ask me some questions also, and you just want to go, yeah, it's like that, and you should do that, and you should that. But no, you should be making them curious. Ask the right questions. Why are you thinking it's bad for you? And put some science in there. Show them something to read or listen to stories of other people. But it's not only that. I mean, you can be carnivore and feeling well, but if you're stressed out all the time and you do not take care of your sleep, you're just working days out, days in, you are not getting the same results. You need to be in balance.
Exactly. Yeah, and I like your style about more of a pull style of negotiation than a push. Like it's very hard to persuade someone when you're pushing them with like, oh, it's great, it's wonderful, it's fantastic, you got to do it.
Yeah,
But if you get them interested, they're more likely to, come
it
along
is.
and
It
give it a
is.
try.
Yes, be curious about it. That's the best thing. And for me, my story was different than other people. You know, I've seen the people on your channel, I've seen the people on other channels. I'm very lucky that I'm came out like this. And there are some people with serious issues, but I've seen them getting well, or at least 90%. I mean, if you get 90% of being sick to the health part, you're feeling, well, you're having actually a much better life, you know, and it's about quality you can gain. And with that comes happiness, and that comes with your daily life, the way you look at life. I mean, you can really get depressed if you are feeling bad about health or stressful situations, and I can imagine that there are a lot of people struggling out there. So what for me was very surprising to hear was that even people that are working as a psychiatrist, that they see results in people with bipolarity or schizophrenia or ADHD. And when I first heard it, it was like, huh? How is it possible? But if you really look at it, Dave, right? I look at it like this. It's my opinion. Yeah, I'm not saying you should think like that. Even if you follow procedures like health procedures, I mean, the advice that government gives you in Holland is 250 grams vegetables a day, low meat, low high fat, saturated fat. No saturated fat. So carbs. Let's take away the protein and the carbs. Let's only look at the vegetables. Yeah. Mm, there's only a small part people grow themselves. Only a small part for people that can afford biological uh, uh,
Oh,
vegetables.
yeah, organic vegetables.
Yeah, organic. Yeah. So they use pesticides. Yeah, but the government says, well, it's just a small limit. It will not impact your health. Okay, but I do that daily life. I eat my 250 grams of vegetables 7 days a week, year in, year out, because I want to stay healthy. You cannot even imagine thinking what those bits of pesticide could make for damage in your brain or any other behavior. I look at it as a fine looking clockwork. Yeah, you have to maintenance it. If you neglect it, the clock will sometimes maybe skip a few minutes of seconds. I think I look at it like the body like this. If you put stuff in it that is not designed to work with, there can be issues. And I
Right.
think that's why there's good results, you know, that's why good results. You take out those things, you go for 100% pure rinse meat, make hamburgers, start with some, I don't know, bacon and a few eggs, and you try it. Yes, that's why people get clear mind. They do something well. The ketones are studied so well. It's an excellent fuel source for us.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems when you first hear about carnivore, it seems ridiculous, you know, because it's like, how can food do that? You know, we've had to rely on pharmaceutical companies to make drugs for us to make us better and that kind of thing. How could it possibly just be food? But then
Yes,
once you do it and you look at it logically, it makes complete sense because it's like, of course, my body gets better when I take away the poisons and I feed it the nutrition that it actually needs. Of course, things start feeling better,
yeah,
but we're so trained into the food pyramid kind of style of thinking about eating and there's a pill for every sickness kind of mentality that
exactly.
something as simple as just eat properly
Yeah,
seems crazy.
yeah. And what is the word properly? If you define it in the way like you've been taught, then you think, how can I end up in this? I did everything that I was told I should do. You know, and I think that's the most concerning part of the whole story. And it takes time, you know, this kind of interviews, but also the stuff you do, your own video that shows you without problem walking the stairs. I remember that part. Just good for you. So everyone that's watching this and is doubting, uh, it doesn't have to be a permanent thing that you start changing something. Just experiences. What will it do to you? try it. You the most people easily, because the doctor tells them to, they easily take the pill or something else, a medication, because you were never taught anything else than that. You go sick, you go for a medical exam, and the doctor tells you what to do. So all the people out there who are listening and have troubles, and you say, well, I was doubting. Don't doubt, just try it. Yes, there are some difficult moments, like everybody knows maybe now the keto flu. If you switch to low carb or zero carb, you can get obstipation, diarrhea, you can get nauseous, you can get headaches, but it's temporary. Make sure you get your sea salt, minerals, you get sure you make enough fat. I go around 60% fat a day, every meal. That's for me, it's the sweet spot. I can tell you now, after these years, at start I did higher, but for me, this is good. Just try it, and see if it works for you. If it's so, try to work with it. You do not have to be 100% carnivore. That's a misbelief. You have to try it to see result. And if you say after a while, well, I miss a piece of broccoli from time to time, eat it. No problem. If you do not have an allergic reaction, intolerance, or anything, you can eat it. But it's just give it a try. Try it. If you're worried about health issues and you're battling some situation, give it a shot.
That's really good advice. I'm I'm gonna search for that one person in the world that says, "I miss a piece of broccoli." Um,
Yeah,
um,
so let me know if you find her or him. We're gonna
um,
interview her next.
yeah. So, at this stage, you feel like it's gonna be carnivore all the way? I mean, you're 5.5 years in now?
Yeah, well, for me, the last few months, I'm experimenting with calories, because I can tell at some point, it was, I think, 2 months ago, that I was lacking energy. Like my daily training, or I work out every other day if the energy is good. And I was getting also good results even now. So what I do, just give you an image of how I work. I look at videos, and I look at science behind it. So can it be more efficient, the training and getting results? Do I need higher volume, lower volume? How is it when the protein intake? Different research, different results. And so I'm experimenting every time a little bit around with my own health. And I found that I was so saturated because of the food that I had all those years. Every time I was certain, I don't know how to say it, structural food, like 2 or 3 times a day, or fasting. But the food that was in my body was enough, but not enough to get extra results for training. So I try to work around that. So since 3 months, 1 or 2 times a week, I take some sweet potato, some extra sweet potato, or maybe half avocado, just to see what it does. And I feel good. I feel good with it. I feel good with it. So for me, it's 99.5% carnivore, and the rest is based on how I feel. And that is also something I would advise. But you can only tell it after some time, when you're really used to something, if it's right or if it's missing. I mean, if you're spending more energy in any way and you're not giving it, you get different results than that you are giving the right amount of calories. And it does for me not matter if I would put it in fat or in beef, or a few carbs from the sweet potato. But the problem with the beef and the fat is it fills me so fast that I cannot eat the amount that I would like to eat extra.
Okay, and I think it's important, like, you're adjusting to the way you feel best, and,
Yeah,
how you can get the most out of your workouts and so forth. So that's, as you say, everyone's gotta find the right place, but you can't get there until you've taken everything out first, so that you're starting from a clean slate, right?
exactly. And now, if I look at my body composition, I did grow. I can tell, and my body fat still stays low. So I'm doing it at the moment right, and not to call out my ego, but it's also my 10 years of trainer experience that helped me get to that point that I understand my body better. And I've been struggling when I was younger with overweight, eating disorder I had a long time ago when I was younger because of bullying on my school. So I had my bumps in life, and I don't have that anymore. And I think the great part is if you do not have to worry about such things, you can be more relaxed. You do not have to stress out. You do not have to be stressed out what you eat and this is right and this is wrong. You can shift a little bit because no one has the 100% truth in his pocket, Dave. I mean, we all do studies, we all read, but in the end, we're all not the same chemical fabric. You need you need to test for yourself, and in that point, I still do well, and that's the most important thing. If you do well, you feel well, you are more in balance.
Yeah. So Marcel, if people want to reach out to you, is there any way they can get in contact? Do you have any social media?
Well, I have social media, but I do not do anything with it because I work 4 days a week and I'm already doing counseling all day, training people with mental issues, people with health issues, with physical issues. So most of the time, I do not do extra, but in the future I might. So if I might get catch up to you at some point and I say, okay, Dave, I got a website for you or I got Instagram for you. I have to be honest, I'm not that guy that goes on social media every day to post a lot.
No worries. Well, Marcel, thank you so much for coming back on and letting us know how things are going. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Dave. It was a pleasure to see you again, man.